Hey guys, Kamina the coach here. Different location. You see the falls. I found water in the desert, and these last two sessions, it's been so important. So for you, those of you who don't know me, this channel used to be dedicated to helping teachers work overseas. I did that for a long time. But since I returned back to the United States, I have kind of picked up my adoption journey. I'm a transracial adoptee, meaning sorry about that, gotta get my exposure lock on. I was adopted by white people. I'm obviously not white. I'm half black and half Italian, and I identify as African American. So it's been a wild and crazy 2021, and I've embarked on a radical healing journey. I've been using herbal healing remedies along with a psychotherapist who is trained in brain spotting to try to heal some trauma and really rewire pathways in my brain. So this video is to talk about my third ceremony, my third session and final one. For a while, at least for a month, I'm going to do a detox, and definitely the best. So I started off with 2 grams, and I went to 3 grams, and this last session, my big session, was 5 grams. And it was life-changing. All of them were life-changing. This one was my big one. My overall message for this was love. I was able to forgive some people at my job that were really bothering me. I was able to mourn my person. I was with somebody really special in the early part of the year that helped me through some really hard times. And we broke up, and I was really curious why I had so little emotion when we broke up. And I understand that that was just sorry. I understand that that was just part of me protecting myself. Those emotions were locked away so that I could protect myself. So I understand that much more clearly now. So I sent him some apologies last night. I told him I was sorry for the way that it ended. I'm not necessarily sorry for what I did, but I am sorry for the way that it ended. I ended up leaving him with a lot of shit. And more than that, even more than that, I'm sorry to his mother. She and I were friends before I got with him. And I just really shouldn't have made the choice, even though that he and I were very deeply in love, and I still love him. I have a lot of love for him. His mother was my friend, and I shouldn't have done that to her. And I never took into consideration what that did to her and her emotions. So I'm going to send an email to her and tell her I'm sorry. I'm going to email the person at work who I've been fussing with. I'm going to email her and tell her I'm sorry for my part in that. What's very interesting is I've actually done this before. So I fasted for 40 days one time during Lent, and I had this same kind of epiphany that I needed to make things right that were wrong. I also apologized to my white family members who I had ostracized, who really hadn't done anything. They had just tried to love me, but ignorance on color, just off-putting when you have spent your whole life kind of fighting racism. And I probably dredged up from some trauma for them for sure, so I definitely extended apology to them. I think when you go into reunion, the only person you're thinking about is yourself, and you're not thinking about the lives that you're altering and kind of turning upside down. And yes, we do deserve answers, but at what cost to other people, just keeping that in mind. And I really couldn't live with myself knowing that I was hurting other people. I did a live as I was coming out of my session to just let the family members that I have left on my Facebook page, to let them know that I was sorry, let them know what I've been going through, and just be honest and transparent. So if I'm going to say that I am love, and I believe that love is the truth of everything, then I have to behave in a loving manner. And it just seems like the thing is I knew this logically, but being able to really solidify it in my brain and make it stay has not been something I've been able to do because of the way that the trauma has rewired my brain. So I'm really, really hoping that after this last session that I'm going to see a big difference. I know that I feel markedly different. Last week was very blue and dark after my last session. If you watched my last video, my last session was a lot of tears. I mourned myself. I came out of that looking at myself with deep compassion. I look at the way that I approach a relationship as me trying to make up for the way that my mother didn't love me. So waking up to that deep compassion in myself and that deep love and love affair with myself, I'm hoping will rearrange the way that I approach relationships, especially romantic relationships. I have been looking at them to fulfill that mother role that I didn't get that love and that unconditional understanding. I didn't get an opportunity to be an emotional child. I had to grow up way too quickly, and I had to be way too serious and way too mature way too quickly. And I expect my romantic partners to be unconditional in the way that only mothers should have to be. And looking for that deep affection that I should have gotten from my mother. And that is a very interesting realization. Again, I knew it logically, but I didn't actually, it wasn't solidified. Woo! Jumping spider. Get away, spider. Get away! So the downfall of being outside. Don't jump on me! Get away from me! Sorry. So yeah, so I knew that all logically, but to have it like really, really brought home, I would love to see the long-term effects of this. So we'll see. I'm going to give a month of installing with my therapist. I made a list today of all the things that I need to do for myself and all the things that I need help doing. You know, the writing of the emails, and there's some other things that I need to do in my life so that I'll feel completely calm and peaceful. And then there's some things that I need help doing, like now that I have woken up to the compassion for myself, I really need to learn how to speak when and how to speak my truth so that I don't get this tightness in my throat because I have felt so restricted in my truth for so long. So that's number one. Number two, how to set boundaries in a way that serves me and will protect me. I think that's really, really important, and two things that I need help with, like skills that I don't know, and I'm definitely going to be looking at that after we do some installing. So I want to do a session of installing, probably 2 sessions of brain spotting, and then the next session, that last session before I start another series of the medicine, we're going to discuss what things I can do to make these changes in my life that will make things more bearable. So I won't have these somatic, these bodily negative experiences of negative emotions. So I think that's really important. Radical awakening. Big. It's big. It's big. I believed, but I didn't believe. It's like you know, but you don't really know until you really experience it. Before I end this video, I just want to say that I'm not a doctor, I'm not a therapist, and I'm not recommending anything. I'm only sharing my journey so that people can see. That's all. I'm just testifying. It worked for me, but it may not necessarily work for you. You've got to remember that spider's back. You got to remember that I've been doing intensive work, so I'm prepared for this on a different level. So please don't judge yourself up next to me. We're different people. Even though we may have similar experiences, we are still different people. So anyways, we're going to leave it at that. Sending you so much love. Please remember that you are love and that love is always the answer. I will offer that piece of advice. You are love. Love is always the answer. If you can find your way home to love, that is always going to be the answer. I love you all. Sending you love, light, peace, and joy. Until next time, I am Tamina the Coach, and I am out.